Hey, it's Erin. Happy New Year! I hope your year is off to a great start so far. What are you looking to accomplish in 2019? Are you looking to get stronger, get leaner, faster, whatever it might be? Please comment below and maybe we can help in an upcoming video. For today's workout, it's going to serve three purposes. Many times we're used to doing things in a certain set and rep range. We're used to a certain amount of volume and we're used to probably going heavy or challenging ourselves in the muscular sense. By switching it up into circuits, you're challenging your body in a different way. So you're forcing it to make progress. Also, when you're training it in a certain set and rep range, or if you're doing straight sets, circuits or something a little bit faster paced without that time or attention is going to help you bust through plateaus. So consider doing something like this if you've been on your current workout program for 4 to 6 weeks. A week of training like this is going to help you make continuous progress. And you can go back to your other training, what your specific goals are if you're looking to gain muscle or whatnot. Thirdly, it's weights plus cardio. So you get the benefits of lifting and the cardiovascular benefits, which means we've kind of smushed the two workouts into one and you won't have to hop on the treadmill. So yay for that. Without further ado, let's get into leg day. The first circuit is going to be the most demanding. So we're going to do a front squat, followed by RDLs, followed by a barbell partial rep calf raise. So with the front squats, form is going to be key here. Make sure you're pushing your weight through your heels. Make sure your knees are staying behind your toes. At mid-rep, so at the bottom of the squat, try to engage your glutes. You're still moving at a faster pace, but that doesn't mean that you can't use that mind-muscle connection. Also, with any exercise that's bilateral, meaning you're using both of your legs, make sure even as you get tired that you're pushing evenly with your right leg and your left leg. I know for me, my left leg tends to tire out, so I really have to focus on those last few reps. So 12 reps here of front squats. Breathe, make sure you're exhaling on the way up, keeping those elbows tall, keeping your upper body nice and tall, and just rep it out. If this grip hurts you, you can always take your hands and put them across the bar so you can crisscross them. So we're going straight into RDLs. Here, weight through the heels, bending the knees slightly. So I'm keeping a soft knee. Think about using your hips as the hinge here. So on the way down, you're going to keep the bar as close to your body as possible. You almost think about the bar rubbing against your shins on the way down and then on the way up. Back stays nice and flat. Shoulders stay square. Don't let your shoulders round, especially as you get towards that 10th, 11th, 12th rep. It's going to get a little bit harder. I'm going to use an overhand grip here, not a mixed grip. If you have trouble with your grip on this particular circuit, don't be afraid to use wrist straps. It's a lot better than using that mixed grip where you do underhand, overhand, because that can really mess with your symmetry over time. And the goal here is to build a completely aesthetic physique. So we're going to go straight into those partial rep calf raises. For this, I kind of rest the bar against my thighs and then think about, rather than going up on your toes, think about pushing your heels forward. This is going to really help engage those calves. And the partial reps are awesome because it's a little something different. We're used to getting that full range of motion, and this is going to help mix it up quite a bit. So for this, relax those traps. Make sure your shoulders stay nice and wide and square. Moving on to our next circuit, it's going to be step-ups, followed by hip thrust, followed by Bulgarian split squats. You can use weights or not. With this, I'm using a very light 10-pound weight, and I'm using it on the leg that's working. It's a little bit different way to do things to have the weight on the leg that's working because we're kind of used to having the weight on both sides. So it makes the muscles work a little bit differently. Now for this, I'm not allowing my rear leg to push off at all. So think about putting your entire foot on the bench and almost pulling yourself up using only your quad. So when you do it this way, it makes it a lot more difficult than if you were to use your back leg to push off. So try to keep your upper body a little bit upright. I lean forward just a little bit more because I'm trying to hit my glutes and my quads, but if you want to hit just your quads, make sure you stand up a little bit taller. So again, 12 reps on each leg here, and you're going to do all the reps on one leg and then switch to the other. Start with your non-dominant leg on this exercise, and if you can only get 11 on your non-dominant, then do 11 on the dominant side. Moving on to hip thrusts. Important here is the squeeze at the top, not so much the weight. We're not trying to go do a PR today. And then you'll notice that from the top of my head to the waist is one solid line. So as my hips drop, my chin and my head is going to drop too. So that helps really keep that focus on the glutes and not on the lower back. A lot of times we tend to just arch the lower back and then round the pelvis, and that can lead to problems. So make sure you're hinging at the hip, pushing through the hips, and really squeezing those glutes at the top. You can push your weight through your heels and do a little bit of a wider stance, and that tends to hit gluteus maximus and medial glutes. So that builds that nice side booty. 12 reps here. You can use weights or not. Make sure your heels are close enough to your glutes. If you feel it in your hamstrings, move your heels closer to your glutes. Now we're going to go straight into Bulgarian split squats. Again, starting on that non-dominant side. Let that dictate the number of reps you're going to do on the dominant side. Loading the weight on the leg that's working makes it a little bit trickier for the muscles than just holding 2 dumbbells. So just something a little bit different to go along with the circuit. So 12 reps here on each side if you can. If that weight gets too heavy, go ahead and drop the weight and just do body weight. Make sure you're really using your mind-muscle connection. So with this exercise, you should feel it in your glutes primarily. You'll feel it in your hamstrings and your quads a little bit too. And a good rule of thumb here is to just make sure that upper leg that's working gets to parallel, because that's going to go ahead and work every single muscle in the leg. And keep on pushing through. 45 seconds to a minute for this circuit, rest in between. So you're going to do all 3 exercises, then rest for 45 seconds to a minute. It's important to keep an eye on that watch. And our final circuit is a fun one. So I'm doing a sissy squat here. You can use a sissy squat machine. You can also just substitute, let's say, reverse lunges or side lunges or something else if this exercise, if you don't want to do it. I really love this for hitting the quads in a way that no other exercise hits. So I feel it in my quads. I feel it in my thighs too. So it's just a really cool old school exercise, and I'm doing as many reps as I can, which turned out to be about 10, then 8, and then 7. So we're going to go 3 rounds on this circuit too, of sissy squats, leg press, and calf raise. Straight into the leg press. You don't see me doing leg press very often. Not really a fan of it because it tends to really tighten those hip flexors and can lead to problems. But for this particular workout, it's super light. Gonna go 20 reps on leg press. Make sure with this, if your toes are out, your knees should be out too. If your toes are straight, your knees should be straight. And try to go full range of motion. With this, you can focus on pushing through your heels to hit those glutes a little bit more, or you can push your weight through your toes, and that's gonna hit those quads more. So if you're doing that sissy squat with the toe weight, body weight in your toes with a leg press, you're just gonna torch your quads, which is pretty awesome. So 20 reps here on the leg press. Make sure you don't lock your knees out at the top. It's really important. It can be harmful. You're gonna go straight into the calf raise. Same idea as before. So rather than thinking about going up onto your toes, think about pushing your heels forward. And I'm keeping my legs straight, but I'm not locking out my knees. And I'm gonna do 12 reps here. every other exercise today seems to hit those calves, so 12 to 15 reps tends to be pretty good. And make sure you get that full range of motion. 3 rounds and you're done. Remember, switch up your workouts every few weeks to avoid hitting a plateau. Workouts like this one can be highly beneficial, so you can do similar with upper body workouts. Do it for about a week to 10 days and then go back to your other training program. You're gonna see amazing results. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and don't forget to click that little bell. You'll be the first to know whenever a new video comes out. Thanks for watching. Until next time, train hard, y'all.